Imagine that. It is a Friday afternoon, and I am on time for a Facebook Live. It's a miracle. But welcome, everybody. I have my friend Rob here from Benebone. As I promised you guys, we've talked a lot about this Facebook Live in the last week or so, and so we're excited to share with you all things Benebone and introduce you to this company if you've never heard of it, and talk about the many benefits. So even if you've heard about it, you may not know some of the things that we've recently found out. And so we're a big supporter of Benebone and a big supporter of all that they do. And we carry their full line. So we feel so strongly about it and want you guys to understand why. So we invited Rob here to talk about Benebone. And, you know, the best place to get started, Rob, is at the beginning. Tell us a little bit more about how Benebone got started.
Yeah, so our founder actually started the company. He formerly worked on Wall Street and decided he wanted to go in a different avenue. So that's when he had this idea for this bone. And actually, I actually have our original packaging. This was our first shape and our first packaging, which is now, you know, still our bestseller, only with the new packaging. But so everything we do, he's very animate that everything we do is made in the USA. So our bones are all made here in New York. We have two locations, one upstate and one in Long Island, two factories that make them. Even our packaging is made in the US.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so when we say, you know, a USA product, it is truly a USA product. But yeah, I mean, everything we do is quite simple. It's two ingredients. Every bone that we have is just nylon, and we use human grade whole food items. So in our bacon flavor, for instance, you're just imagining like bacon bits, like for human consumption, mixed into the nylon, which is pretty cool because when they're made, the outside of the product all the way down to the inside, it all tastes the same. So definitely the dogs figure that out quickly. So when you're looking at one of our bones and you see like all those little spots, those are actually bits of bacon or salmon or whatever flavor it is.
Whatever the food product is.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think it is really cool and is definitely something that helps attract the dogs to chewing on them.
Right.
Because that natural scent and that natural flavor is there. So as they chew, talk about what happens to the nylon.
So the nylon, you know, it does wear. It is not a digestible item, but when they chew it, you're not going to get shards or splinters or any of that stuff. You're maybe going to have pieces maybe up to the size of like a grain of rice. So if it is ingested, it does pass right through the system. It doesn't hold up. It doesn't, you know, sit around in the stomach or something. But definitely the biggest thing is with our products, you're not getting big shards or any of that kind of stuff. It does wear. I mean, Allison, your guys use them there. Right. So
I know I was saying my dogs love Benebones. This is one that this is a new style that we just brought in and that you guys just brought out, right. The salmon flavor. Yep. And my dogs love it, obviously. You can see, and I've got one at home that's a little bit more worn than this one. But you can see, I'll hold it up close. You can see how they've just been working on the tail and the nose.
Yep.
And a little bit on the little
ribs,
bones on the ribs. This one's a little bit older, so you can see how it's been worn and teethed on through a few puppies. And this is a newer one that they've worked on some, but it's very little.
You can't even really see it.
Very little wear. And I will say, I mean, my dogs love them. I just told you as we were getting ready to go live that I literally have about 20 of these on my sofa right now with my dogs. They'll go pull them out. You can always hear them pulling them out of the toy box because you hear clunk. And I always know they've grabbed a Benebone to bring it up to the sofa to chew on. But, you know, they really are great chews and give my dogs something to do. And I have a multi-dog household. It wouldn't shock people to know that I have 8 dogs of my own. Of course, they're dachshunds or dachshund mixes. So I can't have natural chews at home, like bones, high reward things,
Right.
because it can cause some fighting in my family, in my dog family. And
Yeah.
so these give us something for them to chew on that they're not going to necessarily fight over.
Yeah.
They will pull them out, they will chew on them, but nobody is really angry because somebody else is chewing on one. They'll go get another one and they'll chew on that one. So it offers me a way to give them something to chew on because all dogs really need to chew,
Right.
have that instinct, and it is really good for their teeth to chew on things. It helps to get some of that tartar off and helps to really keep the teeth strong.
Well, and I think too, like I have several acquaintances who are breeders of higher end dogs, and they insist on having good hard chews too to help build muscle structure in the head and face of the dogs. But I think in terms of how they wear, I did give you that screen.
You can add this really quickly.
Yeah, that is an important topic, So
I'm going to be a repeat for a second, and then I'll get it added up there.
Yeah.
I promise everyone. There we go.
Yeah, so we developed this because people kind of asked. We would get people saying, well, my dog chewed it down to a little nub, and we were like, well, that should have gone away a long time ago then. So again, I guess people weren't really getting like how long a dog should chew on it. And of course, it also depends. Is your dog a high chewer? How much time is he spending with it? Is he in a crate for 8 hours a day? Because if that's the case, then all he's got to focus his attention on is the bone. My dogs, I have Frenchies, and they are free roamers. They're all over the house. And like you, I have Benebones all over the place. And, instead of hearing them, normally it's hearing me when I step on one in the middle of the night.
I know that feeling.
But yeah, we did come up with this to kind of show what the life of a Benebone is, when it's time to discard it and when you should really, really discard it. I would say, an average use dog, you're going to get, give or take, around a month's use out of a bone. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, depending, again, on the situation,
Yeah,
But,
and the size of the dog matters too, because
correct.
like this has been chewed on a fair amount of time, but I have little tiny dogs.
Right.
Laura is 8.5 pounds, so she's not swallowing that.
Right.
It still has lots of wear for her, but that would not have a whole lot of wear left for like a 25, 30-pound dog.
Yeah, and I mean, the good thing is, obviously, also, like you have that little Zagler here. This is our giant one.
Mhm.
So when you go up in size with the dog, so does the size of the bone, So I have a friend in California that when I was out there working, boy, that was about a month and a week ago. He has a gigantic black German Shepherd. And he was telling me, like, hey, do you have any of your bones with you? And I said, of course I do, So I left him some giants. And I just saw him at Super Zoo last week in Las Vegas. And he came by again and said, can I get some more of those? She loves them. And I was like, she went through them all? He's like, no, but when she's done with one, I don't have to go looking for them, So he's like, and he told me, he's like, it's the only thing I've had so far that has lasted over a month with her. And this is, I mean, it's a big German Shepherd. Her favorite is, I gave him one of our large, that's the new large Fishbone.
I love the fish one. I mean, I like all Benebones, but that fish one is really unique. It's such a unique shape. And my dogs have really loved the fish one. I've taken a couple of others home, and they've all been working on the ones at home.
Yeah, we do have a really creative founder who obviously has developed this entire company. And we do have a really great designer in chief on board who brings the things right to market. And I mean, this is definitely was one of the most talked about things that we saw at Super Zoo because nobody else has anything like it. And I think you'll see, like our original, the Wishbone. Let me get in there.
Yeah.
That was our original shape and is still our tried and true #1 bestseller in the medium size, if you can believe it. But yeah, I mean, it has kind of stood the test of time. It's very popular chew.
So let's talk about some of the different shapes while we're kind of on that subject of the designer. So you have the dental chew, which you kind of describe as kind of like a bit of a tug chew.
Right.
It's a great chew and a great style because they can put their paws around it. They can hold it in different ways. So
yeah, and it's
with the wishbone, they like to put their paws on it and hold it while they chew.
Yep. It's interesting, and it's good that you brought that up, because if you actually can hold that sideways, no, the other way, flat way, like
this way?
Yeah. No,
that way.
Yeah, if you see that arc, and you notice all our stuff, our wishbones have that arc as well. The new Fishbone has that arc. That's done intentionally so that the dog can rock it. He can, like on our Fishbone, for instance, he can hold the tail and chew on the head, or hold the head down and chew on the tail. Same with that dental, and same with this. That dental is also, with my Frenchies, that becomes a tug of war toy, because they get on one side and try and pull it from each other. But yeah, so we have 6 different shapes. You have that dental. We have this wishbone, like that I showed you. That's the original. And we have those in 4 sizes. The Fishbone, which we showed you, is brand new. We do have that paw plexer behind you there.
These are really cool because this little hole right here has an intention. So tell us a little bit about that, the paw plexer's intention behind that little hole.
Yeah, so that's a heavy stick chew, and then we have a nice TPR cog in the middle of that wheel that will hold like a pizzle or any other like live body parts you want. When people use, like, we use pizzle here with our dogs too, the bully sticks for a trade name, but they go through them so quickly. And that is one of the biggest complaints we heard. So we created that as kind of a holder for it, because what happens is the dog will chew on it. One, it stops that little thing from getting lost in the house somewhere, because it's kind of trapped inside that. But 2, once the dog has totally chewed through that pizzle, he's going to continue to chew on that toy because he knows that's part of it. It's all one unit to him, But it does definitely extend the life of those natural body parts, which tend to go a lot quicker than nylon,
Yeah.
So it is a useful tool, and it has been very popular. So yeah, we have that, and then we have a couple. Well, we have the stick.
Yeah, I really like this stick.
So
I was really struck when you were telling us how they make the stick and the presses that they make the stick in.
Yeah, so the stick is made out of, we have 2 flavors now. We have a bacon stick as well, but the original is the maple. So it is made with maple wood. Dogs love sticks, right? The problem is, 1, you're going to run into splinters and shards, right, which is very dangerous, can cut their mouth, they can be ingested. And 2, there's a lot of pathogens, right? You don't know what has been on that stick, or what wild animal or whatever has been around that. So this is definitely an alternative for them. And as I said, in 2 flavors, and we have 4 different sizes on that. So we go down to a mini and all the way up to the giant, And then we also have, I forgot the Zagler.
The Zagler.
So this is, looks almost like a nightstick, but it's a very heavy chew for a strong chewer. It's thick nylon and flavor. But even for the little guys, that's a very strong, heavy toy to chew on. It takes them quite a while to work through it. And then when you look at them, they're made thin to thick so that they can put their paws here and work the edges of that, So like that one that you had, there's one you had there that was pretty, it's getting close to the end of its life, that bottom one is pretty well worn,
Yeah, they really like to chew on this one. And I've just had raised 2 puppies. They're just over a year now, but they would come to my office and chew on Benebones.
Yeah.
Nylon chew. And I mean, it really got all those puppy teeth out. The nylon kind of helps to pull them out in it,
Right.
And they really loved the Benebones. They've been all underneath my desk. Like when we were on the phone talking earlier, I was pulling them all out from everywhere. I have them in dog beds. I have them in dog baskets in my office, but we love Benebones.
Yeah. I'm just reading one of the things here. Brittany says, you know, Ace is all about sticks. I can't tell you how gross it is to catch him with one that has bugs in it. That's why you go here, because
Yeah.
guarantee there's no bugs in here. There's real Maplewood, but no bugs.
And Ace is a big bully. He's a pit bull mix, and he is adorable. But yeah, no, Ace is a big chewer, I'm sure.
So when people ask me about that, that's one of the number one questions I always get. I'm a big bully guy. I love smash face dogs and bully breeds. But I'm always asked, hey, I have a pit bull. He eats everything. And I'm like, well, that's true. Pits have very strong jaws and strong chewing mechanisms.
Yeah.
Same with Rottweilers and even German Shepherds, right? But these are the two that I recommend, the stick and the Zagler. Because for a heavy chewer, look, we're going to have to replace them, right?
Yeah.
But it is much better. Like that one you're showing me with your dachshund. It's better that than your shoes or your couch or the table or, you know.
And it would have been all those things had it not been for the Benebone.
Right. So, you know, this is when people ask kind of what are the benefits, that's the benefit. I mean, I get asked that all the time, like, well, why would I buy a stick? You know, well, that's why. There's no bugs. There's no pathogens. It's not going to get your dog sick, you know, and he's going to work.
We've had consumers, I think I was telling you this, who will come back to us and say, oh, well, my dog tore this up, and they'll bring this back in. We're like, but this is the point. Like,
right.
That is the point. Think of it like an edible chew, because that's the whole point. You want them to wear away at it. You want them to scrape the nylon off so that they will not be chewing on your shoes or your furniture or your doors.
And it lasts so much longer. I mean, people that give their dogs sticks, I mean, you're never going to get the same longevity as you will out of this, you know?
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that is the whole point of it. We leave them around. Even when we leave, if we have to leave the dogs behind, you know, we confine them to a bedroom, but they have their toys and we come back and normally they're both asleep because they're lazy Frenchies, but they have these lying around and, you know, there's nothing destroyed, you know, and that's kind of the point of it.
Now, the one other thing I definitely want to make sure we cover is about the puppy.
Sure.
So puppy comes in different sizes, but it comes in these 2-packs. I have this 2-pack and this 2-pack.
We have 2-packs, and then we have 2 sizes. We have small, and we actually made a medium wishbone, which is that what you have there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that we made because we originally started with the really small wishbone. And people kept saying, well, I have a puppy, but it's a Great Dane pup or it's a lab pup and I need something bigger. So we made that medium size for them. Those are the only products we have that are 3 ingredient. That is whatever the whole food is, whether it be chicken, peanut, or bacon. And then we actually have a softening agent in there. And what that does is, so puppies have those little needle teeth. And it's really important that we don't give them these guys because these are made for adults with large teeth. That softening agent, if you bang them on a table, you will never be able to tell the difference. But it's activated with their saliva. And what it does is it kind of gums it up a little bit. So when a big dog chews this, it chews differently than those puppy ones. Those puppy ones get a little more gummy, you know, so that the teeth are gliding a little more instead of meeting a hard resistance like on a large dog's bone, you know, which is what we need for delicate little needle teeth, you know.
Well, the other thing I would point to is, in addition to considering your pet's age, so like, how long would you consider them needing a puppy chew? Until their puppy teeth are gone and they have adult teeth in?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, probably so. You know, my dogs, like between 1 year and 2 years old, I'll make that transition to their adult lifestyle, even though they're young adults. But I'm looking really, you got to watch your dog's teeth. When he's got adult teeth, definitely an adult dog with adult teeth will chew through that puppy thing very quickly because of the softening agent. You know, it's really meant for when they have those delicate little teeth. And then we make the jump. And if you do have small dogs like yours, Allison, we've even made tiny packs. Those 2 packs are tiny, so that if the dog is, or a Chihuahua or something, right? He likes the little, he or she likes the little puppy pack. Well, they can just move over to the adult size now with the adult strength, you know? So
The other thing I would definitely point out, and you can talk to this as well, is there's weight recommendations on each product. So this is a small dental chew, and it says under 30 pounds.
right.
Let's talk about why that's important.
Yeah. So when you have a dog that is smaller, he's going to have a tough time trying to get his mouth around something like this. And the pressure from his jaws is not going to allow him to really work this the way it's supposed to be. So that's why we've come up with the different sizes. And that's why we actually moved up to like just kind of, I don't know if you can see them, but so this was like our large now. And then we went to the giant, which is considerably bigger because of the same thing. As we progressed as a company, we found people with big mammoth dogs, wanted something more substantial. So that's why we have these. I mean, even the Zagler, I mean, this one, I don't know if you can really even see the weight you can't see the weight.
They're big and heavy.
It's a substantial bone,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that is very important. You don't want a big dog too. If he's got something too small, he's going to work through that 1, 2, 3, and that is counterproductive to what we're doing.
And that's, if you're not paying attention to those sizes, that's when it does become somewhat of a choking hazard. Anything that your pet is chewing on needs to be sized appropriately. It's not the fault of any company, not the fault of anybody. You need to make sure you're paying attention to those sizes because those sizes are important.
Yeah, definitely. So it's the size and then also the wear, just like we showed earlier in the meeting,
Yeah.
Those are kind of what you have to keep your eye on. And that's not just with ours, that's with any product.
Anything, any chew product for sure.
Often I explain that to people, like, especially people that crate train, right? Like our dogs are also crate trained, but when you leave a dog in a crate for 8 hours, he has nothing else. There's 2 things on his mind. The first thing is, how do I get out of this crate? And the second thing, which is why crate companies are always coming up with upgrades because of that.
Yeah.
But you've got something in there. If you leave him in there with just a bed, shortly you won't have a bed. It'll be shredded because he's got nothing else to do. If you leave him with a bed and like a Benebone, that's what he focuses his attention on that and works on that all day instead, and then when he's out to be loved, but it does. I mean, look, I had a female Frenchie at first, and she would get anxiety before we had the male, and I started giving her some of these bones to chew on, and she would chew the heck out of them. But when we came back, she was much more mild than when we left her there with just like soft plush toys and stuff,
Yeah.
So I think, it helps to get some of their energy out on the bone too,
Yeah. Chewing is just such an important thing for dogs.
Correct.
I mean, there are, of course, always exceptions to that rule. And I do have some toothless wonders at my house, but it's still such an important thing for dogs to be able to get out anxiety. It really helps lessen that anxiety, but it also gives them an occupation, again, like we were saying, for their teeth, for the muscles, for the health of the teeth, for the health of plaque and bacteria building on their teeth. It helps to scrub that off.
Yeah, if you look at most of our products, we have on this, we have those dental grooves.
Mm-hmm.
On the Zagler, we have the grooves. Even on the new fish, on his face, we've got the grooves, and on his tail. And the same thing, those are all dental grooves helping to do it. Just what you're saying, to help remove some of that stuff from their teeth as they chew through it, I think it's funny. I'm looking at some of the remarks, how somebody's thanking us for saving them from the needle teeth.
Their needle teeth. Yeah, their needle teeth. And Lisa has some Chihuahua mixes. She's actually adopted a couple dogs for me, but she has some dogs and Chihuahua mixes that she adopted as puppies. They indeed had needle teeth.
Yeah, and Brittany again too is saying she got the puppy one for her little old man to encourage him to chew. That is one place where I would say it would be okay to give the puppy items to an adult, is like a senior or somebody that doesn't have the strong teeth or the strong jaws anymore.
Yeah.
Then that's when you may want to use your judgment and give him something like a puppy bone, if you're trying to encourage him to chew and he can't get through like regular size,
Well, I'll say this. The other thing that we love about Benebone is that every time we ask you guys for a gift for a rescue organization, or we ask you to send our shelter some gifts and to help support our animal welfare community, you guys always jump at the chance to do that. And that's really important to us here in this community.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely, Allison. Our founder is very big on helping animals and helping society. So that is a big thing we do. We donate, I can't even tell you how many boxes of bones to shelters all across the country. I have several friends that run shelters in New York. We help them with some of their events. We are at a lot of events. We have a whole event team and social media team, but we're constantly giving to shelters to help those, less fortunate animals until they do find a forever home.
Well, and one of the activities I know that helps the most for animals who are in kennels at shelters who maybe have kennel stress,
Right.
and are suffering from kind of somewhat lack of attention, not for the, obviously all the shelter staff care, but you're spread kind of thin when you're at a shelter and caring for animals. So being able to hand a Benebone chew to that shelter animal and give them something to work on for a while they're in that kennel can help lessen their stress, make their life a lot happier. And, it's a win-win. It is such a win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we focus on animals that are in homes already, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're trying to help with anxiety issues or things like that in the house. Being in a shelter, as somebody who did a lot of rescue when I was younger, those dogs, that anxiety is on steroids. So it does give them, and it also gives them a sense of, this is mine. This is in my cage. This is mine. It's not nobody else's. And what we encourage the shelters to do is send that home with them. Like when that dog goes home, we'll send you another one. For the next occupant, but send that home. And then they obviously consider or continue coming to great stores like you guys to continue that process. Because the dogs that are there too, dogs are territorial, and but when you're in that situation, even the best shelters, it's still almost like a prison, right? They're there temporarily being held till they hopefully find a home. So that gives them a little sense of kind of ownership, like this is my thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we have actually, I'm very proud that we have actually continued that upwards and onwards. And this year we are actually doing Habitat for Humanity. We're building a house for a family. So we're very proud about that too. These are all the things that make me super proud to be the senior director of sales here at Benebone.
You should be. When you came in and we first met you, and it talked about some of the background of Benebone, I was really struck with how aligned our philosophies here at All Pets Considered are with y'all's philosophies at Benebone.
Yeah.
I think that is really nice for us to be able to align with the company and say, we really share values and we really share desire to make the lives of pets better and make the lives of people better too. And I think that is such a great thing. You told us about some of the things that happen within the Benebone family, and how you guys really are quite like a family, all the staff there, and even reaching out into the manufacturing plants. And I love that. I think that is fabulous. And it makes us proud to be able to carry your product and to share it with all of our consumers.
I mean, if you notice on all our products, I don't know if I can get them to see it, but we feature, different employees on the backs of like all our different packaging. When you pick them up, you'll get to actually meet somebody, and it gives a little blurb about who this one is. Mark. Mark's been with Benebone long enough that his beard has a hint of bacon scent. So yeah, I mean, we definitely. It's a company that's very grateful for every last one of our employees, and all of our dealers, all our fans, and all the dogs that enjoy our bones. And we definitely do have a lot of other exciting stuff I can't really get into right now, but as soon as we do put those things out, Allison, you'd be one of the first phone calls. We'll let you know.
Oh, I love it. I'd love to feature some of that reveal.
Yeah, we do have some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline.
Well, we will back it for sure here.
Yeah, definitely.
we definitely love Benebone and love what they're all about. And of course, obviously, my dogs really love Benebone. So we truly appreciate you joining us and hanging out with us for a few minutes so we could talk everything Benebone. And it was great to see you in Vegas last week.
You as well.
And, you know, I'm sure we'll run into you at coming trade shows too.
Yeah.
And of course, we look forward to anything new you bring out. I will say to all of our people who are watching, if you happen to be in either one of our stores or go on our site, our shelter needs Benebones. They really need these kind of long-term enrichment products. They have always a need for treats and things like that, but Benebones are definitely in need there because they do have a lot of dogs who are kennel stressed, and Elaine Nolan, who is our behaviorist there, can trust that she can put one of these in a kennel with a dog that's stressed and give them something kind of as a reward and as something that is their own, to give them something to spend their time doing, and get that energy out and give them some stimulation. They even sometimes have dogs that are on quarantine, either for rabies quarantine or for maybe an infectious disease like parvo or something like that. And if they're on a hold like that, this would give them something to do so they're not just having to sit in that kennel 24 hours a day by themselves without some kind of stimulation. So if you happen to be in one of our stores, in this thread, when I finish, I can't do it right now, but we do have a wish list link for our shelter and a discount code that you can use, those of you who are out there watching, to get a discount on the products that you purchase on our website. And you can purchase it and we'll deliver it to the shelter for you. So you really, all you have to do is click a button, purchase it, put in the promo code, and mark that it's for the shelter, and we'll deliver it right over to the shelter for you. So you don't have to even leave your home.
That's awesome.
To make a donation. So we would really love to be able to give more of these to our shelter, and make some more regular deliveries over there for them, because these are crucial part of their behavior program.
That's great.
So, well, thank you for joining us. I'll put that link in the comments when I'm done with this. And Rob, I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
You as well, Allison. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.